Yeah. So that's what is told here. So he took the instruction on his head. So Prabhupada mentions that Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittati. One should accept the instruction of Supreme Personality of Godhead by bowing down at the lotus feet of Lord. So anything spoken by Lord should be taken as it is with great care and attention and with great respect. So taking on head means these all things are there. Shirodhar kar lo, like that. So that is the way the respect is there. So great care, attention, and respect. It is not or make additions or alterations, as it has become custom for many so-called scholars, Swamis who comment on the words of Gita. So Prabhupada says that in his introduction of Bhagavad Gita that people try to kill Krishna by shutting his mouth and speaking whatever they want on the name of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada, but he has given as it is. So he's strongly writing. So Prithu Maharaj is telling him that is the way of Parampara. So Loka Guruna. Loka Guru means Lord here. Because he is Jagat Guru, Loka Guru. Guru means he is always doing welfare, whosoever you are a demon, devotee, non-devotee, mixed devotee, neutral person. But Loka Guru means he is Guru, Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. So he is Guru of all Gurus. So he will always do hit only for you. So we have to accept the instruction as it is. That's what Prabhupada is telling. So going further, very important verse, 18th verse. Sprishantam padayoh premna vriditam svena karmana shatakritum parishvajya vidvesham visasarjaha. Yes,
As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prathu to touch his lotus feet. But Prathu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meat for the sacrifice.
uh, so who gave up envy? Prithu Maharaj gave up all envy towards him. So what is happening here? Sprishantam padayoho vriditam svena karmana vriditam. By acting, by stealing the horse, he became ashamed. Indra. Shatakritum. So what he did? He tried to touch his feet. Sprishantam padayo. And he was feeling repentant and shameful actually. So he was wanting to touch his lotus feet of Prithu Maharaj. But what Prithu Maharaj did, he didn't allow him to touch his lotus feet. Because so Premna Parishvajya. So with great love, he embraced him. So and Vidvesham Visasarja Ha. So he embraced not with keeping any negativity in his heart. He gave up all his negativity or all his envy with Dvesha, Vishesha Dvesha, Visasarja, Vishesh Rupena Sarja. He gave up. So he gave up his envy. So that's the verse. So one may think that whether who was envious of whom? So because of Indra's actions out of envy and insecurity, even Prithu Maharaj, out of care for citizens, he was also had become angry. Strongly angry he had become, right? So he had developed some kind of hatred momentarily, not on a personal account, but on the account of Praja. So that he gave up. Right? So that is what is told here. So here Prabhupada mentions the principles that there are so many cases like that. That a person becomes offended to the lotus feet of Vaishnava and he becomes repentant. Right? So Ambrish Maharaj and Durvas Muni story is there. So here important principle is an offender at lotus feet of Vaishnava is never excused by Supreme Lord. So that also is shown many times. Although the person becomes repentant, but Lord becomes very seriously angry at that person. So Durvas Muni is an example. So Indra decided, first humble position was taken by Indra. And then automatically even Prithu also took a positive position. So he did not want Indra to fall down at his feet. Instead, he picked up and embraced him. And both forgot all the past incidences. So this is the file is closed. It's very, very important because there was strong emotional connection there, negative, that gave up because they lovingly embraced each other. And one person fell at the other's feet. So this action is very important. So then Prabhupada writes the adjusted cause of their envy. Both King Indra and Maharaj Puthu were envious and angry with each other. But since both of them were Vaishnavas or servants of Lord, they it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. So within Vaishnava society also, due to different various kinds of activities, there can be such negativity or anger or envy. But what is responsibility or duty? Prabhupada is saying, adjust the cause of the envy. So why we are becoming envious? If we see the cause, then we can adjust because it has connection with Supreme Lord only, right? So this is also first class example of cooperative behavior within Vaishnavas. So what is cooperation? Cooperation is this one, that we are able to adjust the cause of envy and continue together serving the Lord in spite of different opinions, different emphasis, and different activities, different behavior also. But both are Vaishnavas, both are trying to serve Lord Vishnu. Then the cooperation is what is very pleasing to the Lord. So in present days, however, people are not Vaishnavas. So they perpetually fight amongst each other and are vanquished without finishing the mission of human life. So both of them die actually. There is a great need to propagate Krishna consciousness movement in the world so that even though people sometimes become angry and malicious towards another, because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition, and envy can be adjusted without difficulty. So when it can be adjusted, when both are on the platform of Krishna consciousness, or trying to be Krishna conscious. So this is a very important principle of cooperation among the Vaishnavas. So cooperation means we try to understand the cause of the dissension, cause of the difference, cause of anger, cause of envy, and cause of differences, and connect it to the Supreme Lord and try to cooperate with it. So cooperate doesn't mean you say that okay, please cooperate with me. That is not cooperation. Cooperation means they both operate together and they have respect for each other. Not that you follow. So there will be differences. So when Lord Vishnu is coming in between, then they are able to adjust the cause of pain. So that is the one simple way of adjusting and cooperating is a senior person comes in who is connected to both, who knows both, who knows the both nature. So that way Vishnu is telling how to cooperate. So many times we see the great souls, the spiritual masters, when they interfere among the devotees' challenges, then they take up. Sometimes they have to adjust the cause of envy by changing the place of service also. Hmm. Like Prabhupada did that in some cases. In New Vrindavan, there were two powerful devotees together, so they were not able to serve together. So what Prabhupada told, okay, you go to some other place and serve. Then both of them serve nicely. So here the most important point is the negativity has to be given up, knowing the equal goal of serving the Lord. So forgetting the past incidences and forgiving the other person and embracing. Right? So this is meaning of cooperation. Cooperation means adjust the cause of envy, as per this first plus example. So there is another example also, right? Like that falling at feet. So Prabhupada has given one example of Durvasa Muni falling at feet of Amrish Maharaj. Right? And then how did Amrish Maharaj deal with him? It's like a golden heart person. Did not even think that he has done some mistake. Is there any other example you remember where such thing is happening? Parties have become angry. At least one party or both parties have become angry. In this case, both parties are angry. Right? In case of Amrish Maharaj was completely not at all affected. Yes, any other example?
Dhruva and Suruchi.
Dhruva, yeah, both parties were angry, correct. And then the cooperation happened because Dhruva increased his consciousness to pure Krishna consciousness. Right? So, very nice. Suruchi came back and when he saw him, she also cried tears actually. Of course, that case we can see the offense had the effect also. Right? But surely that thing happened. Yes, any other example? This is in the boundary of Vaikuntha. Who became angry at whom?
Chatush Kumar.
Yeah, so who first became angry at whom?
Chatush Kumar became first angry on Jai Vijay.
Actually, first Jai Vijay became angry actually by
Yes, sorry.
seeing them.
Yes, first Jai
But they
Vijay.
didn't speak anything, they just acted by putting the bhala, to stop them. And they were doing their duty. But four Kumaras became more angry than Jai Vijay. And then what four Kumaras did not only acted, but they cursed also. Right? So this is a very amazing episode of anger. So Jai Vijay became angry out of their duty, seeing the four Kumaras externally. They were children and naked children. So they thought of not disturbing the Lord. So they became angry and they took action of stopping them and it is said that four Kumaras didn't even, since they are Brahman realized people, they didn't even see the existence of Jai Vijay. It's like quite embarrassing that you don't exist for them. They just walked in as if no God is there. So that made Jai Vijay angry. And their anger was just the action of anger was just put the bhala, that's all. Of course, their eyes became red and all. So that were seen by four Kumaras. Four Kumaras seeing that became more angry and cursed them, right? They didn't even clarify, but they directly judged them and cursed them also. And then what happens? Yes. After that, what happens?
The Lord comes to
No, Lord is coming afterwards, but before that something happens, which Prabhupada is saying here. So, Jai Vijay, upon getting curse, They accept the curse and fall at the feet of four Kumaras. They fall at the feet of four Kumaras. And that there is repentance in their heart that we might have displeased our Lord and these people. So Jai Vijay, even they become their senior, they fell at the feet of four Kumaras. And that humble action made four Kumaras also humble. So four Kumaras also felt, my Lord, what we have done. We have cursed very intimate associates of Lord. Hmm? It is so they also felt little regret in their heart. So seeing the mutual humility awakened in both heart, which shines, then Lord appeared actually. So this is the very important thing. So when there is such situation of anger and counter criticism and cursing, when one person takes humble opinion, humble role, the other person also is inspired to become humble, actually. But opposite happened in Daksha Sabha, where one's anger increased others' anger. No one took humble position there, except Lord Shiva. So it's very important, actually, to take proper response because otherwise this negative emotion keeps on growing. So that's why here same thing is happening. That we have to adjust the cause of envy to try to cooperate with others. Otherwise, Kali Yuga, the atmosphere is full of fight only. Kali means what? Kalaha and Ladai. Not Kalaha, nahi, Kapat. Kapat within and fight without. So it's very easy to fight and disintegrate and have dissensions, have differences and makes two groups and disintegrate. So it's very important because see, if we only fight, outside world is already suffering on. So within Krishna consciousness movement, devotees also fight, then where is the question of propagation? Propagation won't happen on. So best way is try to adjust the cause of envy by taking help of mature superiors instead of fighting, cold war, hot war, whatever. Better is to do that. So it can be adjusted without difficulty. And we can expect that this will be there in conditioned state and take a humble position if possible. So that's what is this verse. So preface also Prabhupada says actually that symptom of Kali Yuga is small problems and very big quarrels. This is the typical of age of Kali. Even any relationships in home, in ashram, in society, community, country, small issues, big quarrels. So that's what Kali is allowed there. So only way to go against Kali is to try to cooperate, especially among the Vaishnavas, because both are serving Lord Vishnu. So text 90. भगवानथ विश्वात्मा ऋतुनोपरितार्हणः समुज्जिह्नानया भक्त्या गृहीत चरणाम्बुजः. Yes, bro, please continue.
King Prathu abundantly worshipped the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was so merciful to him. While worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Prathu Maharaj gradually increased his ecstasy in devotional service.
Yeah. So he did all the proper worship of Lord, Atithya properly, and his bhakti was increasing. Samuj Samujjihanaya bhaktya. So while worshipping the lotus feet of Lord, his emotions went on increasing. So this Ashtasattvic Vikara and all Prabhupada is talking about. He names them crying, laughing, perspiring, falling down, crying like a madman. All these symptoms are sometimes visible in body of devotee. Ashta Sattvic Vika. Therefore, the transcendental ecstatic transaction between Supreme Lord and his devotee is near like the activities of this material world. So these experiences is the goal of our life. And Putta Maharaj is able to experience this Ashta Sattvic Vika. So now this is Prithu Maharaj experience. Now how Lord is this is mutual experience, right, of love. So Lord is also told next two verses you can see. Prasthana abhimukho penam anugrah vilambitah paschan padma palashakshu na pratasthe surutsatam. Yes, true.
The Lord was just about to leave, but because he was so greatly inclined toward the behavior of King Prabhu, he did not depart. Seeing the behavior of Maharaj Prabhu with his lotus eyes, he was detained because he is always the well-wisher of his devotees.
Yeah. So there is a great loving exchange happening here. Prasthitana abhimukhopi. Means he was about to leave actually after settling the issue. But seeing the great devotion and ecstasy coming in heart of Prithu Maharaj, he was stopped by the love. And he saw the beauty of Prithu Maharaj. Or lotus eyes can apply to both. Like Prabhupada has put to Prithu Maharaj with his seeing behavior of Prithu Maharaj. So Lord whose lotus eyes? He was detained, so he decided to be there. Because why? Surut Satam. Na pratasthe. He didn't go, he waited. Why? Because he is well wisher of his heart to heart devotees. Surut Satam. Satam are his devotees, pure devotees. So Surut Satam. So that's the exchange between them. So Prabhupada says this word Surut Satam. So this word is there. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na prabhu. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mahi teteshu chakya. I am there in them, they are in me. Right? So those who particularly engage in his service, he is inclined. So that doesn't show that he is partial. Yeah. And he gives them intelligence to come to them. Tesham satata yukta. He is always in everyone's heart. So see, the Lord becomes personally responsive to the devotee. For others, he is neutral. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Only devotee can realize the presence of Paramatma and takes instruction from him at every moment, Prabhupada is saying. Was it directly connected? So there is no chance of devotees being in error, nor is there any partiality on the part of Lord for his pure devotees. So this is just a reciprocation. It is not partiality. पक्षपात नहीं है. ये भक्त वात्सल्य है. भक्त वात्सल्य is not पक्षपात. Right? So that is what is told here. God is not far away from the devotee. So they are in him and he is in them. They are in him or he is in them means what? In their third process, Lord is there. It is their affectionate, they are thinking about the Lord and Lord is thinking about them. Now further ecstasy happens to Pruthuma. Now Lord only. So Adirajo Rachitanjalir Harim Vilokitum na Shakadashirlochana Nakinjano Vacha Sabashpa Viklavo Riddhopagaiham Adhat Avismita Avasthita. Yeah, now someone else can read 5 verses. From 21. Yes,
Hare
Simon.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Uh, the original king, Maharaj Prithu, his eyes full of tears and his voice faltering and choked up, could neither see the Lord very distinctly nor speak to address the Lord in any way. He simply embraced the Lord within his heart and remained standing in that way with folded hands.
Yeah. So what he did? Hrudopagohaman. So he embraced the Lord in his heart. Right? And he just stood like that, tears in his eyes. Rochitanya, Ashlochana, with great feelings of love, he's going to offer prayers actually. So that is what he could. Bashpa Kalaya means a lot of gadgad happens in his voice became choked up. Right? And this experience he had of embrace of Lord. So he remained standing there. So next verse you will see Lord replies. Lord becomes a little unsteady because of seeing his love. Right? So just as Vidurani is becoming unsteady and feeding the banana peels to the Lord. So Lord also become unsteady to eat the banana peels because he is prema bhikari, right? He is bhakti, hungry for bhakti. So same thing is happening here. So purport Prabhupada writes about the word Adi Raja, original king and the duties of original king. That is protection of citizen, welfare of citizens, and proper engagement of citizens. That is the ideal king. So Prabhupada explained that only. You can see. Adi Purusha word is explained. He gave protection to citizens, keeping them engaged in pious activities and devotion to the Lord. So he was not like collecting taxes in a inappropriate way or utilizing them in inappropriate way. That's what he's saying. These are the principles of ruling power, and because Maharaj Puttu observed all the principles of ruling chief, he is addressed as Adi Raja. So this is the word. Adi Raja is being explained. So Prithu Maharaj, although he was a pure devotee, still he could be king also. So it's possible. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Even a responsible king can become pure devotee. Here we can see how he became ecstatic, inside out. So Prabhupada is writing current his experience that today only he read in newspaper that government is going to repeal the prohibition laws because they want to allow some sinful activities. Repeal means to revoke or annul. So some laws are declared invalid. Earlier there was laws that one should not drink anywhere and everywhere. There should not be slaughterhouses or liquor shops. So these laws were there. Now they are there in few like states like Gujarat, I think. So no official liquor is allowed there. But all other governments have annulled these laws because they want revenue. So Prabhupada is quoting his own example that time. That time it was not allowed to drink actually, but now it is all over. The government failed to change the hearts of the citizens from indulging in sinful lives. So instead of losing taxes, law, instead of losing the taxes, they collect to inflate the treasury. They have decided to manufacture liquor to supply the citizens who were hanker after it. So that's the problem. This is a real example Prabhupada is saying. So government starts allowing sinful life on the name of revenue, it will have a heavy reaction. Right? So there is a statement. So such thing leads to heavy reactions means what? See here, Prabhupada is saying. Yeah, yeah, ahead is there. There will be heavy reaction. Prabhupada says here, when there is disobedience to the laws of God, there will be at once very heavy reaction. You can see. And this is the point he is making. If one is not following the laws of God or conduct given by law, there will be heavy punishment in form of sudden outbreaks of war. So India, Pakistan, now also something is happening. He's quoting all of that. And then he is giving solution. And what is the solution? That these disturbances can be mitigated by propagating Krishna consciousness, characterized by distribution of knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, discussing it, and developing Krishna consciousness. That is only possible. So this can be made possible simply by broadcasting the pure message of Bhagavad. So this solution Prabhupada gives multiple times, but do we are convinced about this solution or not? We have to ask ourselves. Simply by broadcasting pure message of Bhagavatam, this is possible. Because tadvad visargo janatagha viplo yasmin pratishlokam avadya bhakti namani anantasya yashonkitani yat shrunvanti gayanti grananti sadha. That revolution can be brought out in the sinful life of people when there is propagation of Gita and Bhagavad. So this faith we have to develop. Prabhupada writes in that verse actually. This is 1.5.10 or 11. This revolutionary verse because Prabhupada showed that by his personal life. He carried holy name, faith on holy name and faith on Guru's order along with Bhagavatam. So this is 11th verse, I think. Yeah, I'm just showing. This is the way individually, locally, and globally to bring about peace and prosperity. Discussion of Bhagavatam or discussion of Krishna Katha. Because Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. So Abhadras cause all the differences and sinful activities. So that can go on. So this is the verse. Right? Viplav means revolution. So literature which is full of description of transcendental glories of Lord is different creation. And it can bring about revolution in impious lives of world's misdirected civilization. So here you can see Prabhupada says, let there be systematic propagation of study of Gita and Bhagavad. Because people are attracted to this obscene literature. But the only solution for that is to propagate message of Bhagavad. So here also he says cooperation is required when there is fire in house and there are different people from different background, they don't even talk each other's language, but they will cooperate, right? So Kali Yuga is like that. Everywhere there is fire of sinful activities. So that he writes, and then yeah. So neither government wants such obscene literature nor public wants such literature. Responsible leader doesn't want, but still it is there. Why? Because people want sense gratification, which is sinful. People generally want to read such things. Under such circumstances, transcendental literature like Bhagavatam not only will diminish the activities of corrupt mind of people in general, but also it will supply food for hankering after reading some interesting literature. So there is the interest. And then, yeah, this is what I was saying. In the beginning, they may not like it, because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy. But we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. Similarly, so this is the instruction by Prabhupada. Let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. So this is very, very important verse. Revolution that can be brought about by these aspects. Prabhupada has showed it. We should have faith on it and we should also propagate the same thing. 22nd. अथावमृज्याश्रुकला विलोकयन् नतृप्तदृग्गोचरमाह पौरुषं पदास्पृशन्तं क्षितिमन् समुन्नति विन्यस्तहस्ताग्रमुखं विद्विषः. Yes, please continue.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaj Prithu, wiping the tears from his eyes, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus, the king offered the following prayers.
So actually, Lord also become unsteady. You can see Siddharth Swami says that generally Lord's feet doesn't touch the ground. However, controlled by extreme mercy, Lord forgot himself, and his feet touched earth. To keep himself from stumbling, he placed his hand on elevated shoulder of Garuda. So, because of his affection, seeing Prithu's affection for him, he also became little unsteady, and he touched the ground, appears to touch the ground. So that's what. So Prithu Maharaj saw, and then he offered beautiful prayers. That is what is how the beautiful section is starting. So here Prabhupada says that those who are so advanced in spiritual life that when they come to visit this similar other lower planetary system, they also keep weightlessness. So this is about touching ground, Prabhupada is writing. What to speak of Lord, even the Swargavasis, they don't touch earth. Right? That's what Prabhupada is saying. They can stand without touching the ground. So Lord appeared before Prithu Maharaj. He was not touching the ground that time. But when he was fully satisfied with behavior and character of Prithu, he immediately acted as Supreme Personality of God in Narayan from Vaikuntha. Out of affection for Prithu, he touched the ground. But he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, as if to prevent himself from falling down, since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on earthly ground. So these are the symptoms of great affection of Prithu Maharaj. So it actually melted the heart of Lord. So what the behavior it is. That's what is glorified by Prabhupada. Fluffed. So now from 23rd verse till I think 33. Yes. 23rd to 31. That is the beautiful prayers of Prithu Maharaj. So prayers, as I always say, that prayers are the heart of Bhagavatam because they reveal the most confidential heart of devotees. And one of the most confidential heart of devotees is their desires, their appreciations, and their uh, ambitions, or I would say their interests, are very clearly expressed by them. So that's how we begin. 23rd. Ruturvacha. So these verses are worthy of reciting. So you can recite with me without doing unmute. Ruturvacha. Varan vibhostvadvaradeshvaradbudha katham vruणीते गुणविक्रियात्मनां येनारकाणामपि सन्ति देहिनां तानीश कैवल्यपते वृणेन च. Yeah, please.
My dear Lord, you are the best of the demigods who can offer benedictions. Why, therefore, should any learned person ask you for benedictions meant for living entities bewildered by the moods of nature? Such benedictions are available automatically even in the lives of living entities suffering in the hellish conditions. My dear Lord, you can certainly bestow merging into your existence, but I do not wish to have such a benediction.
So Prabhupada is almost like giving some kind of purport only in the translation. So he is saying, Hey Vibho, Hey Varadeshwara. Varadeshwara means the best, from the highest bestower of benediction. You have said me in the 16th verse, right? Varam Vranishvate Aham. Please ask anything. So, but what intelligent person will ask actually? Intelligent person will not ask anything of this world. Buddha katham vranite. What intelligent person will ask in this world of three modes and their products? Or guna vikriyatmanam can also mean the you are the best among givers of benediction, like Shiva and Brahma are affected by the modes, right? So, but you are transcendental. You controlled the mode of goodness by sanidhya or proximity. You don't touch the mode like Shiva and Brahma. That's why you are Vardeshwar and you are the best of the benedictions because you are transcendental and you can avoid transcendence. That is also another meaning. So, what intelligent person will ask? Katham Vranite? He will not ask anything of the material enjoyment of this world. One may say, why he will not ask? Because it is available in Naraka also. For Dehinam Narakana Santi. These material benedictions are available in Naraka also. So although so that we have to understand. So Naraka also has some kind of happiness there. Right? It's not constant misery. There is major misery, but there are breaks of pleasure. It's written in, I think, third canto or 11th canto. And they have some kind of pleasures there of eating, mating, sleeping, and different. So that's what Narakanam will be saying with. So, He Kaivalyapati, Tanisha Kaivalyapati Vranenacha. So, even you can avoid liberation, then even a liberation seeker also doesn't ask for material benediction. Then why intelligent person will ask anything? Intelligent person here means devotee. Why he will ask? So that kind of disposition is there. So Kaivalyapati, Vibhu, these are all words directed to the Supreme Lord. So Varadeshwara also. So you can see. How can intelligent person ask? A foolish person will ask for material food, like Swarga and all that. Their minds are created by the three modes and transformation. Oh Lord of Kaivalya, even a person desiring liberation doesn't ask material goods. Then how I can accept them? Even I don't desire liberation also. It's like, see, people desiring liberation also don't ask anything of material world. I don't even desire liberation. I can't tolerate the name of liberation. What to speak of material benefits? That's the actually that is indicating the next verse. So Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport here. These purports are very amazing. So this verse purport is telling that how different devotees have different aspirations or different transcendentalists, to be more specific, karmis, jnanis, and yogis. They have all different aspirations. So going Swarga, Bhukti, Mukti, and Siddhi Kami. So they are all having selfish motivations. But devotees' aspirations are completely different than that. So Lord is addressed as Kaivalyapati. It may indicate that he wants liberation. But no, Prithu Maharaj doesn't want that also. Too much. Prithu Maharaj, however, expressed that he was interested in neither in the benediction desired by Karmi nor the desired by Jnanis and Yogis. So Jnanis and Yogis desire Mukti, whereas Karmis desire Bhukti. But devotees don't desire. And Prabhupada quotes that famous verse, Kaivalyam Narakayate. So Narakayate means for devotees, like Prabodhanand Saraswati, the Kaivalya or merging happiness is considered hellish. Why? Because there is no service or there is no engagement in Shravanam and Kirtanam. Because there is no Dheya Dhata, there is no servant and served, there is no duality. Right? So it is like hellish. And of course, the demons killed by the Lord also go to merge in the Brahmajyoti. So that's why it's hellish for the devotee. What to speak of that? Kaivalyam narakayati tridashakapura akasha pushpaya. So Tridashakapur is like the delights of heavenly planets are phantasmagoria. Akash Pushpa means what? It is unreal. Right? Willow wisp. Durdantendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Protkhat Damstrayat. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahindradishya Kitat. Devotees do not even care for positions held by Brahma and Shiva. Vidhi Mahindra Adishya Kitayate. For them, those portions are like insects. Yat karunya kashtaksha vaibhavatam tameva gauram stumaha. I offer my obeisances and stuti to Gaura, by whose merciful sidelong glance the devotee's value system becomes like this. So that is the aspiration of a devotee, right? Whereas Karmi has such Karmi, Gyani, Yogi, all three of them have some kind of selfishness in them. Mukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Ashant. So now, Lord may say that, okay, better you are addressed me as Kaivalyapati. So it seems that you want liberation. So take it. Then Prithu is saying, no, 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 no. Nakamayena tadapyaham kvachin na yatra yushmaccharanam bhujasava na muhantamantar hridayan mukhachyuto vidatsvakarnayutame shami varaha. Easy.
My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of at least 1 million years, for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees.
Yeah. So now he is telling, no, 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 I addressed you as Kaivalyapati, not that I want liberation. I don't even want to take name of liberation. Na kamaye nath tad apyaham kvachin. I never want that. No, he is not even taking the name of that. That means Kaivalya I don't want. Even in greatest difficulty, I don't want this merging. Okay, why we don't want merging? Because there is no nectar of the lotus feet of you. Na yatra charanam bhuja savaha is not there. So you can see here. You have asked me to ask anything, but in general, I do not desire anything. This is the normal. For devotee, what I desire, I don't desire anything material. So even in worst misery, I will not ask for liberation. Why you are not asked for liberation? Because there is no honey of your lotus feet, no sweetness of talks about your qualities. Yushma Charana Ambuja Asava. So we have to understand that this is referring to the discussion of Harinam and Harikatha. Hari Guna, Hari Lila. That is the honey. Okay, how these topics are described? They are coming from the hearts of great devotees and worship dripping from their lotus mouths. So it is not just a theoretical class, but it is the person who is speaking also is relishing in his heart. Right? Because that's how it is come out of their mouths. So these experiences are possible only from the great souls. Those topics are being sung out of great bliss experienced in their heart. Mahantar antar hri yan mukhachyutu. So Mahatma's heart is filled with Harinam and Harikatha and Harigun. And they deeply relish that within their heart. And as soon as they get opportunity, they speak about it. They never indulge in prajalpa because there is no juice and bliss for them. To talk about Krishna is the greatest bliss for them, whether there is 1% or 10% or 10,000 persons. So they are experiencing great bliss of that pure devotional service. And Shukamukad Amritadavya Samyatam. The specific thing here mentioned is It is to be spoken by a person who is authorized, who can make it sweeter because of his own experience of bliss. So, Vedishuka Mukhad Amrita Samhita, Prabhupada quotes here. So, opposite also should be understood. What is that opposite? Avaishnava Mukhat Girinam Potam Harikatham. Just as sweet water becomes distasteful when entering salty earth, so the qualities of earth became disturbed coming from the mouths of Shuddhi, mouths of non-Vaishnava. So, the opposite also should be understood. And then lastly, he writes, then what do you want? He says, see, give me millions of years. Vidatsa karana ayuta. Ayuta karana means 1 crore years. So why he is asking? He says, my dear Lord, those who want liberation, you give them liberation and give all their eyes and the ears to me. Because anyway, they are not going to use them. So out of greed, I want to hear everywhere, wherever class is going. That is my wish and nothing else. So very focused person. So this the link is already given earlier also. He specifically mentioned that glories of Lord should emanate from the mouths of pure devotees who speak from the core of their hearts. So they don't speak from brain, actually, they speak from experience. That's why we should take this opportunity to hear from great souls whenever they come to temple or yatra, because they are at different level of consciousness. So that's what in this purport. So Prabhupada writes further things also. So he quotes that famous verse, Satam Prasangat Mam Viryasam. So this verse is very important because this verse is telling how to progress in Krishna consciousness and how to remain in the same stage where we are. Just open. तां प्रसगान् मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्तिर्कर्णरसायन तथा तज्जोषणातशुभवर्गवर्त्मन् श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति. Then see the process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. Without such application, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make appreciable advancement. One must seek the association of devotees. Without that, we cannot understand personal activities of Lord. And personal activities of Lord only means their emotional exchanges of affection and love. So that's what is being said here. So this purport, you can see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes something. So the excellent association means those authorized devotees. When they narrate Virya Samvito, it is very pleasing to ear and heart. So such association only what does? First faith comes, Shraddha. And from excellent association, the stories of my pastime become nectar for ears. Right? So it becomes Karna Rasaya. And what happens by that? The excellent association, the stories cause anartha nivritti, then stories cause nishtha, and then further things. So this is positive. I had what is writing from inferior association, there is only bhajan kriya, but stories do not become nectar. So that is the main difference between these two, actually. So stories become nectar when we hear from great souls. So going further here. So Prabhupada is quoting that verse only here. Satam prasangan mahavirya samvida. This already I said that if he wants millions of years, if hear and chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if anyone hears from a Mayavadi philosopher, so it's like the other example, the salt. The water touched by salt also becomes salty, like that Mayavadi Bhashya Sunule Oye Sarvanash. Even Krishna Katha is spoken by Mayavada, but it will not have positive effect, rather it will have opposite effect. Prabhupada said. So now the next verse, the he is saying that why you don't want liberation which is accepted by the greatest of the yogis and jnanis? Why you don't want that? So he answers, Sa uttama shloka mahanmukhachyuto bhavat padambhoj sudhakananilah smritir punar vismrti tattva vartmana yoginam no vitarantalam varai. Yeah, one more verse, last verse.
Yes. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee.
Yes. So here is a very, very important verse and very good purport is written by Prabhupada. So here he is telling actually a very big secret. What is that secret? Is that we see na, that we have to get the dust of the feet of Lord. So where it is available? The dust of lotus feet of Lord is available in the hearts of pure devotees. And what is that dust? The dust of a personality means his Nam, Rupa, Guna and Leela. So great attraction and affection and love for personality, like God. So dust of Lord means one is fully impressed by his personality. And he's always talking about Nam, Rup, Gun, Leela of that person. So that's how they have these saffron dust particles in their heart. Rather, when such glories of you, my Lord, comes out of the mouths of Uttama Shloka Mahan Mukhachyuto. So that contains the Anilaha means the wind carrying the dust of your dust particles, saffron dust particles from your feet is carried in their mouths from their hearts. As soon as you get those dust particles through ears, immediately one will remember the Supreme Love. Smritir punar vismriti tattva vartmanam. So, those who are on the path of uh, forgetfulness of Krishna, they immediately remember the Lord. Because they are carrying the Lord in their heart, right? Tomara hridaya sada govinda vishay. So even the who yogis also have forgotten the Lord can remember the Lord. So that's why I should ask for anything other than this. I don't want anything other than this. That's what he is saying here. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes about the transcendental vibration. Here I am reading. Second line. The transcendental vibration from the mouth of pure devotee is so powerful that it can revive the living entity's memory of his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the potency of the messages. So we know this Thakur Bhagat. He just heard from a proper Vaishnava and he really got to see Krishna. So he didn't do anything, right? In terms of bhakti directly under guidance and under initiation or something like that. But he accepted the words with faith. So we have forgotten, Prabhupada writes, our eternal relationship with Lord. Exactly like a man sleeping very deeply who forgets the duties. In the Vedas, it is said that every one of us is sleeping under the influence of Maya. We must get up from this slumber and engage in the right service. Jiva jago, jiva jago. This awakening voice comes through the mouth of a pure devotee. So that is what is the message is authentic, relevant, and for everyone. So next paragraph says very importantly. Pure devotee always engages in service of Lord, taking shelter of his feet, lotus feet. Therefore, he has direct connection with the saffron mercy particles that are strewn over the lotus feet of Lord. So you see, that's what he has. The greatest wealth is the particles, mercy particles. So when such devotees speak, his voice may resemble the sound of the metal sky externally. The voice is spiritually very powerful because it touches the particle of saffron dust on the lotus feet of Lord. So it enhances them actually. As soon as a sleeping living entity hears powerful voice emanating from mouth of pure devotee, he immediately remembers his relationship with the Lord. Smritir punar vismriti tattva. Although up until that moment he had forgotten everything. So that's why then he writes what is to be done. For a conditioned soul, it is very important to hear from mouth of pure devotee who is fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord without any material desire, speculative knowledge, or contamination of the modes of knowledge. Anna vilashita shunya is quoting actually indirectly. So then he says, all of us are co-yogis, so we should hear. From co-yogi, we should become su-yogi. It is our duty to rise from co-yoga to su-yoga. The process of hearing from pure devotees is recommended in all scriptures, including Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? So that is what. Therefore, this process of hearing from mouth of pure devotee is very important for making progress in the line of devotional spiritual understanding. So it's a foundational principle and it is not just there at the time of foundation. And building is made also, this remains as a foundation only. So that way he is building up the case that what he wants. So these three verses are very clearly telling the meaning of dust of lotus feet of Lord. So, or dust of any person, for example, is his Nam Rup Gun Lila. So that is the sign of love for any person. Love for Lord means that person is addicted to speak about Krishna. And love for other pure devotee means the person is very much constantly thinking and speaking about the person. His personality is Nam Rup Gun Lila. That is the meaning of dust actually. When we say na dust of lotus feet of devotee, means what we get attracted and affected and captivated by the Vaishnava personality of that devotee. So that is how Rutu Maharaj is revealing these truths here. And he's very clearly saying. So here we can understand through these three prayers that it's very essential to the first in our prayers and aspirations. First, we can tell the Lord that what we don't want. So there are so many prayers. Right here, Rutu Maharaj is telling, I don't want material benedictions. I don't want liberation. I just want many years. So this kind of prayer is very much there in many other places. That first Lord is told that what he doesn't want. Actually, that expression also is very pleasing to the Lord because Lord becomes clear, okay, he doesn't want it. So there is Bhaktivedanta Thakur nice song. What is that? Where he says like that. Prabhu tava pada yuge mora nivedana nahi magi deha sukha vidyadhana jana nahi magi swarga ar moksha nahi magi na kori ho prarthana kono vibhuti lagi. Like that, he is very clearly telling. He is not telling what he wants. First, he is telling what he doesn't want. So it's very important in our prayers that we express this, at least honestly, that okay, I don't want. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, kavitam va jagadishikam. Same thing, who else is doing like that? Anyone else you remember? Any prayers, very famous prayers? He tells, no, no, not this, not this, but I want this. Anyone else?
नाकपृष्ठं न पारमेष्ठ्यं
Who says that?
Trasur.
Yeah, Vitrasur also say, and same prayer is told even by the queens of Krishna also. This verse comes almost thrice in the Bhagavatam. So very clearly they are telling, na naka prishtam, nacha paramishtham, nothing of this world. So that is very important. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, and there is one more stanza in between. Jaggi, even if there is happiness and distress. And then I want only one thing. What is that? यही मात्र आशा मम तुम्हार चरणी है तुकी भक्ति हृदय जागे अनुक्षण. Like that he prays. So these prayers are very important to express our heart to the Supreme Lord. So Prithu Maharaj is teaching us. And Lord is asking why also, why you don't want. Right? And we see in Mahaprakash Leela, this principle which Prithu Maharaj is showing is clearly exhibited. Why Lord enacted Mahaprakash Leela is the reason that you see. Same thing here is doing. Same thing Prahlad Maharaj is asked by Narsimhadev. Please ask something. So what is Mahaprakash Leela? Mahaprabhu is forcing devotees. Please ask something. And then they are telling, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. And then same thing, na, that Kolavicha Sridhar says to the Lord, my dear Lord, don't become agitated. I don't want anything from you. He wants to give, but he says, no, I don't want. So that is the greatest relationship. That person is wanting to give anything. I want to give you siddhis, he says. I don't want anything. You just come and argue with me every day. That's what I am. So same is the case all other devotees also. They also speak like that. Haridas Thakur. Mahaprakash Leela is filled with these things. So that is the standard of character of a pure devotee, which we should follow in the footsteps of that. So Prithu Maharaj is very nicely teaching us that. So going further, 26th verse. Now, Prithu Maharaj Lord may say to him, so previous verse, Lord said that why do not you desire liberation, which is very rarely achieved even by great knowers of truth. So we didn't see the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary. You can see that quickly. He says this is told in Kaimutyana. So knowers of truth ask for liberation. Why don't you ask for that? So this idea is expressed by ironic condemnation. Vyajastuti. So what is that Vyajastuti? So just as a breeze touching the particle of nectar of your lotus feet, then what to speak of the actual particle of nectar? And what to speak of the nectar itself? Anything related to topics of your qualities produces remembrance of your lotus feet. It produces remembrance for those who have forgotten the truth. And I am such person. I have forgotten just now the truth concerning Paramatma, Atma, and body taught to you. So he is taking a humble role actually. Actually, all these instructions were meant for Indra, right? But he is saying, no, no, I am also that yogi. I am that body yogi and I have forgotten. Now, by that lotus feet remembrance, I am remembering that. So this is, thus I am a bad yogi since I desired to remember difference rather than forget it. This is Vyajastuti. Enough of benedictions, of being stuck on the path of forgetting differences between you and the Jiva through Kaivalya. I have no use for other benedictions since I simply determined to taste your topics. I am a bad yogi, most fallen. Since I could not become a good yogi on path of practice, why should I desire Kaivalya? Even if I am not a good yogi, I don't want Kaivalya. And how can I desire to attain power and wealth since I am completely satisfied just by testing the honey of your lotus feet like a bee, which is just an insect. Thus, indirectly, superiority of devotees indicated. So it's a kaimutya. So now, next verse, Lord may say to him that become detached from the taste of my topics and accept liberation desired by the best yogis. Like that, Lord says. So Prithu replies. What he replies? Let us see. यशः शिवं शुश्रव आर्यसङ्गमे यदृच्छया चोपशृणो चोपशृणोति ते सकृत् कथं गुणज्ञो विरमेद् विना पशुं श्रियत्प्रबव्रे गुणसङ्ग्रहेच्छया. I think you read na 5 verses. Maybe someone else can read. You read?
My dear,
You would like to read them?
may I read?
This one. You can read.
My dear highly glorified Lord, if one in association of pure devotees hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees, for no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories.
Yeah. So this verse is telling very interesting. There are Lord takes objections like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. So first objection of Lord is okay, become detached from taste of my lotus feet by accepting liberation. So first he says, Prithu replies, even if one is hearing by chance, yadruchaya upashranoti sakrit. Once he hears about your glories, without special effort, suddenly, and who thus knows your qualities, give them up. That new person also doesn't give them up. Means what? The person who gives up is like an animal. The person who gives up the glorification is like animal among humans. He who does not give them up is also is real human among animals. So both sides are clear. And then there is an example of person who gives up, right? So this is Kapil Muni's section where this yogi who is more interested in liberation, so he cries tears by realizing Paramatma, seeing the form of Paramatma, beauty of Paramatma. Still, he uses Paramatma like a goal post or signboard, and then he leaves that Paramatma and enters into Brahman. So that is called as a most unfortunate yogi who uses his heart, which is like steel framed heart, chittam badisham shanakair vyamute, hook like mind. So he used the Supreme Lord in his hard hearted hook for purpose of attaining siddhis or liberation. So they give up the Lord and his Nam Rup Gum Lila. So they are considered most unfortunate. एवं हरौ भगवती प्रतिलब्ध भाव भक्त्या द्रवाद हृदया उत्पुलकः प्रमोदात् औत्कण्ठ बाष्पकलया मुहुरार्द्यमाना तच्चापि चित्तबडिशं शनकैर्भीम्. So these are the people who are most unfortunate. And karmis also don't have interest, they also give up, right? त्रैवर्गिकास्ते पुरुषः विमुखा हरिमेधसः कथायां कथयो नियोरु विक्रमस्य मधुद्विषः. The person who are interested in artha, dharma, kama are averse to the topic of Supreme Lord. Right? So they are basically called as animals. So he is telling the Lord, my dear Lord, don't give me liberation, you give liberation to these karmis and yogis. They are interested because they give up, they are like animals. Give these two persons liberation, like feeding oil cake, chaff, or rubbish to animals. But do not give it to humans like me. That is the first objection. Now Lord is taking second objection. Yogis and karmis who give up your topics are proof of that liberation and material benefits are greater than taste of your topics. What is the proof that taste of my topics is greater than liberation? You are saying like that, but what is the proof of that? You say this is more tasty, but who? What is the proof of it? Actually, what they are getting, yogis, karmis, that shows liberation and material benefit are more tasting than my topics. So, what is your proof? So, he says Lakshmi, Brahma, and other persons worshipped by the whole universe. They are endowed all qualities. They accept your glories with desire to be able to taste completely. Guna sangrahechaya. So, Shiryat Pravabre Guna sangrahechaya. So, that's what is answered by him. That your form, taste, fragrance, sound, touch, pastime, charm, and mercy. So, Brahma, Lakshmi, they are all looking for this thing. That is the proof. And there are others also like Shukdev Goswami. He was merged in impersonal samadhi, but when he heard the verses of beauty and mercy, he gave up that and studied Bhagavatam. Right? So that is another proof I am giving. For a long time, found it trifling and found pleasure in your glories. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgantha Pi Urukram Kurvanti Haitu Kim Bhaktim Itham Bhuto Guno. So that is what is another proof he gives. So my dear Lord, I am convinced that there is no pleasure in these things. It's quite lower than your glories. Now Lord is third objection. Not objection, actually he is telling now very interestingly. The yogis are like bulls. So they are conditioned to eat grass. Who chewing the sugarcane shoots find the stalks too tough and savor the grass. So they give up the sweet sugarcane shoots. So karmis, yogis are like bulls and karmis are like camel, which give up the mango buds and savor the thorns. So thorns they eat and their blood is gone. So karmis are compared to camel and yogis are compared to bulls. That's how he's saying, like animals. No? What kind of proof is that, Lord is saying? Then, because of the happiness of all other items is included in bhakti, it is compilation of all human goals and all qualities. With the
So what
desire,
example of bull is there, no? Bull?
yes, Prabhu.
Bull example, what does it indicate?
Actually, if even if you give them sugar cane shoots, it seems, but they find it is too tough like that. But they choose the grass only, like that he's saying.
Okay, bro, thank you.
Like the sweetness of lotus feet of Lord is not appreciated by them, but the grass of that's what they delight. So with the desire for Lord who contains all the happiness, the Lakshmi accepts your glories. So that is the meaning of Guna Sangraha. So that's how Lord is saying to him, and he is saying actually, those who give up your glories are like animals, like bulls and camels, right? Or yogis and karmis. And there are better people like Shukdev Goswami, Brahma, Lakshmi, they are able to taste and aspire for the same. So Prabhupada also writes big purport and he practically covers all what we have discussed. So Arya Sangame is most important factor in this world. Arya means those who are advancing spiritually. So Aryan, right? So like the proper association means what? There is what is that? Bhagavata Artha Aswado Rasikai Saha. That is Bhagavat Shravan and Sadhu Sangha means what? Sajatiya Ashaya Snigdha Sange Swatovare. So Aryan, that's what Prabhupada is defining. Aryan are the people who are advancing spiritually. They are not They don't think I am sufficiently advanced and now I don't need to know. No, they are constantly advancing. Hmm. So Prabhupada elaborates about this Aryan and historical. The glorification of Supreme Lord can be very much appreciated by Aryan family. Hmm. Right? Those who are not like animals, basically. Hmm. Because they are spiritually advanced. Hmm. So it is really appreciated by them. Like you see, the Shaunakadi rishis earlier doing Karmakandi Yajna. But as they developed taste for the hearings from Sud Goswami, they completely stopped the sacrifice actually, because they understood that this is what actually is going to help us and the future for which we are doing the sacrifice. So they understand the glory of Harinam and Harikatha, Shravan and Kirtan. Right? That's the greatest remedy for everyone. Presently, these descendants of Aryan family are taking this Krishna consciousness movement very seriously. So Prabhupada is telling geographically here. Maharaj Prithu maintains that attraction for chanting is so great that one can give up the process, one cannot give up the process unless he is an animal. Right? So this is very, very attractive. Even the goddess of fortune, he is saying, here only he is saying, it's constant is she wanted to hear the glories of love. And what she wanted for the association of gopis who are pure devotees, Lakshmi underwent severe austerities. So Prabhupada is indicating the Ashray Tattva here. Jayati te dikam janmana vraja shayata indira shashvadatrahi. That's what Prabhupada is quoting. Even that Lakshmi is doing austerities for uh, association of other gopis and Krishna. So he comes to this animal only. Right? In answer, Maharaj Puthu maintains that attraction of this chanting is so great that one cannot give up the process unless he is animal. This is the case even if one comes in contact with his transcendental vibration by chance. So that is Sakrut. Only once, Upashrunoti, he becomes attracted. Only an animal can give up. It's like that, no? That verse is there. Vina Pashugnat. Right? Same here also. निवृत्ततर्षैरुपगीयमानात् भवौषधश्रोत्रमनोभिराम क उत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादात् पुमान् विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नात्. Those who are not animals but actually intelligent, advanced, human civilized men cannot give up the practice of continuously chanting. So Prabhupada, we can see that holy name and holy fame he is always interchangeably used. So they are not different actually. So that's what he is building the case about this. So now the next verse, the law. Now Prithu Maharaj is saying that I want only service to you. I don't want benediction. So that's what he is saying now in the next verse. Maybe this verse we'll discuss and pause. अथा भजे त्वाखिलपुरुषोत्तमं गुणालयं पद्मकरीवलालसः अप्यावयोरेकपतिस्पृधोकलि न स्यात् कृतत्वच्चरणैकतानयोः.
Now I wish to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to serve just like the goddess of fortune, who carries a lotus flower in her hand, because his lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. I am afraid that the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would be attentively engaged in the same service.
Yeah. So interestingly, he's saying, my dear Lord, you are saying ask benediction. I don't want benediction. I want service. And what is that service? I want to massage your feet. And Lord may say, Lakshmi ji is there. No, no, I want to do along with her. And maybe she will become quarrelsome. And the next verse says that I know that my Lord, you are very deen Vatsal, so you will take my side. Like that, she says. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes very nice. So abhajit word is used. Abhaj, atha bhaji. Means atha abhaji. Means I will completely engage in your service with pure bhakti, without material desires. Abhaji is that. I do not worship with any goal of liberation or material benefit like Gyanis and Karmis. So they treat bhakti as secondary tool. But no, I will not even worship like Narada, but like Lakshmi, doing constant service of cleaning, decorating, fanning, and offering bitter. Like that he's saying. That kind of service he wants. I have great lalasa. Atha gunalayam padmakireva lalasa. Lalasaha means great desire. So one should, so here we have to understand that he is not going into Madhurya Ras. Because he wants to serve lotus feet means dasya bhav is there. But so that's what, it's not like rasa bhasa something. But when he wants to serve lotus feet, he thinks that Lakshmi, the central pole of the universe, she may actually oppose this decision. As foremost devotee, he expresses Veera Bhakti. So this Veera Bhakti means what? So he quotes Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu here. As a foremost devotee, he expresses Veera Bhakti, desire for competition in relation to Lakshmi. He wonders if he will quarrel with Lakshmi while performing Bhakti, just as he quarreled with Indra while doing karma. So he asks, will there be some competition between us for serving one master? By proper method, there will be no conflict. We will both constantly engaged in one object, serving his feet. So that's how he is reconciling also. So that is Abhaji. So Prabhupada also writes a big purport here. Some points here. One of the most important quality of Lord is his inclination to his devotee, for which he is called Bhaktavatsala. So devotees are eager to serve, and in exchange of service, there are many transcendental transactions which are there. Some of the transcendental qualities of Lord are he is omniscient, omnipresent, all pervasive. Like that Prabhupada explains. Last part is about rasa. Yes, someone can read that last paragraph. Prithu Maharaj desired to serve of this
Yes.
purport. I'm just taking down. Maybe if you have, you can.
Yes. Which paragraph? This one?
Last. The Prithu Maharaj. This one.
Yes. Prithu Maharaj desired to serve the Lord with the goddess of fortune, but this desire does not mean that he was situated on the platform of Madhurya Ras. The goddess of fortune is engaged in the service of the Lord in the rasa of Madhurya, conjugal love, Although her position is on the chest of the Lord, the goddess of fortune in her position as a devotee takes pleasure in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj was thinking only of the lotus feet of the Lord because he is on the platform of Dasyaras or servitorship of the Lord. From the next verse, we learn that Prithu Maharaj was thinking of the goddess of fortune as the universal mother, Jagannatha. Consequently, there were no question of his competing with her on the platform of Madhurya Ras. Nonetheless, nonetheless, he feared that she might take offense as at his engaging in the service of the Lord. He suggests that in the absolute world there is sometimes competition between servitors in the service of the Lord, but such competition is without malice. In the Vaikuntha world, if a devotee excels in the service of the Lord, others do not become envious of his excellent service, but rather aspires to come to the platform of that service.
Yeah. So that we Ras, so Prabhupada is also writing, right? There is a competition, but this competition is spiritual. So competition is without malice. So there is competition among Gopas also, right? I will touch Krishna first. Aham Purvam, Aham Purvam. This word comes there also, and this word comes in Mohini Murti episode when demons are also saying the same thing. So the competition is there in both places, but one competition is out of envy and selfishness, and other competition is not out of malice or envy. So when they are wanting to touch Krishna first, they are not developing any enmity towards each other. Rather, when they see the other person is excelling, they are becoming happy. So that's the different competition, right? Spiritual competition is there. So that's what Prabhupada writes. In the Vaikuntha worlds, if a devotee excels in the service of Lord, others do not become envious of his excellent service, but rather aspire to come to the platform of that service. Right? So actually, that's how is the right spirit of competition, because there is a lot of competitive spirit in this world, but it has to be without malice. Otherwise, it's all like earlier days. There would happen that there is competition in book distribution, marathon, right? So they'll puncture the tire of other group, or some garland making is happening, and good flowers are taken by one group only. No, so that kind of competition is not going to help actually. So it is a very different thing. So Vaikuntha thinking is completely different of thing. We want to do the best so that others are inspired to do the best. So that Hari Guru Vaishnavas are pleased. So this kind of trying to do best is very good. That it will help others to do the best. So like I think once Brahmaji Maharaj was saying that let us distribute maximum number of books and come last. So that is a very different kind of disposition. So that is what is the spirit. Spirit is not to show that we are better, but the spirit is to inspire everyone to do better by doing better oneself. So that is the whole point in this interesting desire of Prithu Maharaj. So maybe we'll see the next verse also. Jagadjananyam, it is just connected to this verse one. Jagadjananyam Jagadisha Vaishasam Syadeva Yat Karmanina Samihitam Karoshi Falgravayu Purud Karoshi Falgva Purudina Vatsalah Swaeva Dhishne Bhiratasya Kintaya. Yes, please.
My dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my part, for you are very much inclined to the poor and you always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think that there is no harm for you because you are so self sufficient that you can do without her.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is given purport only in translation. So amazing. So he's saying, so this Jagat Janani is saying, Jagat Jananyam Jagadisha Vaishasam. So that shows us Dasya Bhakti, right? So this Veera Bhakti is defined in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Kripam tasya samashritya praudham hanyam nanyam apekshate atulam yo vahana krishne pritim veera sa uchyate. The devotee who takes shelter of Krishna has incomparable attraction for Krishna. Though he does not notice others, is called Veera Parshad, Veera Anuga. So that's what. So even if there is some conflict between with Lakshmi, who is my mother, since I reside within universe, Jagat Janani, right? I am also part of Jagat, so she is my mother. I have desire for her service. Let her sit on your chest. I am the son. I will serve both of you. Is she so stubborn that she cannot give up without she cannot live without service? Like that. Like that he is saying. But Lord will say that my dear Prathu Maharaj, but you are novice, she is experienced. You are low, she is exalted. Why do you compare with her? True, but just as you took my side in the quarrel with Indra, you should favor me in this case as well. You will make an insignificant person very great because you are affectionate to low creature. Tina Vatsala. Oh, then Lord may ask, oh, don't you fear her anger? I do not fear her anger since I possess your power. Since I possess your power, why should I worry about her? My strength is your great mercy. Right? So that is what. So that's how Prabhupada is elaborating this portion on. That you will choose my side than her side actually. Right? So that's what is said here. And he is quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu again. Balram, the enemy of Pralamba, may be the Supreme Lord, but what use do I have for him? What I gain from the Prince Pradyumna, since I have been elevated by the wealth of Krishna's glance of mercy? I do not give regard to even Satyabhama, the head of all Krishna's followers. So that way, this kind of attitude is there that I am depend on your mercy. So Prabhupada already in this elaborative, this purport little bit elaborates. So Prithu Maharaj was confident that even if the goddess of fortune become angry with him, there would be no harm neither to the Lord nor to himself. Like that. So that is how he is praying for service and not for benedictions. So we'll continue tomorrow. It's already 4:50. In case someone of you has some comment, question, clarification, correction, you may stay back. Otherwise, we pause here and continue tomorrow. This section of this. Lord will reply after few more prayers. So Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, so
Thank you,
does
Prabhu. So grateful to you.
Hare
I'm sorry,
Krishna.
Prabhu, I missed many things because I had office. Sorry.
Yeah, you had intimated me. So that's all right. Thank you for joining in at 4 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the knowledge, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Yes, anything else or anyone else has any what we discussed today?